Hi there, parents. This is Mr. Ng. I am your student's math teacher for the sixth grade here at MS51. So typically I would make a video before curriculum night so you guys can take a look. Or should you not be able to find the time to meet me online, you can just review this very quickly and ask me any questions later. All right. So you will not be able to see my face in this video, but that's fine because my face was probably made for radio anyways. So, all right. So really quickly, the most important thing in the 10 minutes of time that we have here is the new grading policy. So I want to devote most of the time to that. So very quickly, it's my 20th year teaching, my 10th year at MS51. I think for at item number 2 here, for goals and challenges this year. I think for the first, at least for the first couple of months, as I told some of the students already, I think it's the most important thing for them for the next 2 months is to get used to the school, getting used to the physical building itself, and making new friends. Because those are the very same people they're going to spend the next 3 years with. So it's important that they have friends there to to support them. It's also very important for them to figure out their lunch, where they're going to eat lunch, where they're going to hang out, things like that. So I think for the first 2 months, that's really the most important thing. As far as the course is concerned, let me show you the curriculum right here. So if you want, you can press pause, take a look, take a screenshot, whatnot. But this is the list of the units that we are going. So I'm going to keep going here. The next thing you need to know is the state exam for this year will take place on Tuesday to Thursday. I don't know the ELA exam dates yet, but it will be before the spring break, and that it will be entirely online. So they're going to be typing for like 2 days straight. Okay. And because of that, there's a window that I can't really tell you exactly what the dates are. Math, however, is going to be done on paper, presumably, because last year we also did that on paper. That will be on Tuesday, May 7th to Thursday, May 9th. We have to pick any of the 2 days. So my assumption is that the third day on Thursday will be a makeup day for anyone who was absent. So now we're going to jump right into the most important part. Actually, hold on. Let me give you my contact info first. So this is my email address here. This is the one I would prefer to use. The Microsoft Outlook that a lot of people use, they're not conducive to conducting school business between parents and teachers. That would be my 2 cents on the platform. So this is my email, Mr. MISTURNG. That's my last name, 51. That's the school at gmail.com. All right. So any questions that you have, feel free to email me right here. The first homework number 1, that's an assignment for you guys, and that is for you to email me. But if you got an email from me for this video, then that means you had emailed me already. So, okay. All right. Let's move on. All right. So very quickly, not very quickly. We need to spend more time here. So there's a new grading policy here for 2023, 2024. I will show you this right now. It's 20% for planning and participation. This used to be 25%. Homework is 5%. It used to be 20%. All right, so that's a sizable change. And so because of that, I used to give homework 4 times a week. So in the blue, that's just the blue would signify what we used to do because it was worth more, right? So now that homework is only worth 5%, I'm going to experiment with doing one homework per week, but I am going to post supplemental questions on the website that we're going to use for homework always, which is Delta Math. Okay, so in a couple of weeks, I'm gonna take the students online and help them set up their Delta Math. Homework's not gonna start till the first week of October. All right, it was the same thing last year, and at 4 times a week, we ended up doing 120 homeworks for the year. So that's plenty. I'm gonna experiment with one per week. The difference between this year and last year being that the quality of the homework that I'm gonna pose is gonna be slightly more complex, let's just say it that way. The topics are not going to be as straightforward. I'm going to pick items from the news or things that are of interest to me and of interest to the students, and I'm going to make one video a week approximately probably 10 to 15 minutes each. The production quality hopefully should be higher. It will be something that's related to the topics in class or a little bit off topic. So in lieu of doing less homework because it counts less now, I want to do homework that is of a higher quality. So I'm going to experiment with this for the first marking period, which is going to end the last week of October. So from this point, the point that you're watching this right now till the end of October is approximately 6 weeks. So it's a short marking period because the second marking period lasts 11 weeks. So it's quite long. So you can see the contrast there. And so I'm going to experiment with one homework per week. We're trading in quantity for quality for these 6 weeks. Let's see how it goes. If it doesn't work out, then I might go back to 4 times a week. And I talked to the students already, and most of them would rather have this. But the reason is because if it was 20%, it will reward them for the effort rather than on testing. Okay. And so you will see in a second. Now, quiz and exams is going to be 50%. And projects is 25%. But here's the thing, it's extremely difficult to do projects in math so early in the year because the entire point of doing a project is that it has to be what? A summative form of assessment, meaning taking all the skills you've learned over the course of the year, putting into a project. That's the only reason why projects has value. It's because you can demonstrate to the teachers, to your parents, that you all the things you've learned, put it into one place, and then show it to the person. As we speak, we are in the third week of school, and the marking period, like I said, is going to end at the end of October. So doing a project, for instance, if I ask them to do a biography on a mathematician, let's say Rene Descartes, for instance, that doesn't really add value. It's a nice little project, but it also shouldn't count for 25%, right? Because it would take so much guidance from the teacher and preparation and the rubric and all that stuff. So we're going to leave projects for later. So that means that quizzes and exams technically is going to be 75%. Okay, it's very hard for me to write right now. So it's going to be 75% of the grade, which is a lot. All right. So also something new is that we no longer, all right, it's the policy of the city, by the way. We are no longer going to put zeros in any form of assessment. So for instance, if a student doesn't do an exam, if they just flat out skip it, they don't get a zero. They get a 55 instead. So I don't think it takes a mathematician to realize that what the impact would be. All right. So I would like you to think for yourself. And by the way, I'm so extremely curious as to what you think of this. And any ideas that you have, any opinions that you have, please feel free to let me know. Email me if you want to set up a phone call. I'd be more than happy to see what the pose is from the parent side. Okay. I'm extremely curious because I kind of know what the students think. I know what the teachers think. And you guys are the third piece here. Okay. And then now that would also mean if a student doesn't turn in homework, instead of getting a zero, they're getting a 55. So in other words, if you look at any single grade book, like the ones that I'm going to send you every 3 weeks, there is absolutely no cell in there in the Excel document where it would say zero. Okay, so now let's jump ahead then and see what impact it has. But before we do that, the way we do grades in class, I'm going to keep the grades on Excel. Okay, so that means that it's going to be on a spreadsheet. You will see the grades approximately every 3 weeks. I will always show the students their grades first so that any problems that they have, I will give them the opportunity to fix it on their own, to exercise some independence. The way you're going to see your grades are not their names. All their names are going to be erased. It will be the last 4 digits of their student ID number, otherwise known as OSIS. All right. Now, why do I do that and not put the grades online? Excel allows me to do several things. I can predict the future averages. So if your student comes to me and say, hey, Mr. Ingla, I didn't do so well in the last test. If I get 100 on the next one, what would I get? I can just plug a number in there and I could tell them like immediately. So it helps them with setting goals and kind of understand what they're aiming for, I suppose. It's going to familiarize themselves with reading Excel spreadsheets. I think that's important because people still use that in the business world. Google Classroom itself does not determine the grades. You put the grades in there, it doesn't calculate anything. And the last one, just as importantly, I don't think it's good for sixth graders to constantly go on their phone and press refresh, 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 and see what their grades are. I don't think that's a good thing. Just because it's available, I don't think that's necessarily good for them because sometimes they overreact and they have they get very emotional about their grades sometimes. So at the same time, if they ever want to know the grade, all they have to do is ask me after class. I will show the grades all the time, anytime. I will do the same for you. If you want to know how they're doing, just ask me. I will always tell you. All right. Okay. So here's the impact of the new grading policy as it relates to what I've just shown you. So I'm going to show you 4 scenarios. So we got student A. So this is the new grading policy. All right. If this child has 100 for classwork, 100 for homework, 100 for quizzes and exams, they're gonna have 100 average, obviously. Now, on the other hand, if we're looking at the second person here, right, the person, so under the new grading policy, if they have 100 for classwork, they don't do any homework, that would used to be a 0, but now it's a 55. All right. Quiz and exams is still 100, hypothetically. Their grade would now be 97.5, which gets rounded up to a 98 on the report card. Now, here's the impact. Back in the day, like I said here, that would have been an 80 because this would have been 20% of the grade. Or something like, yeah, basically, right? Okay, I got to double check. But approximately, okay, because I forgot what I said. Did I say 20% or 25%? Okay, all right, close enough. All right, for student C, so now the scenario is, and so the first 2 students I'm comparing here looks at the impact of the homework as it pertains to the new grading policy. The second part here is looking at the quizzes and exams because now it's 75%, right? How that affects an exam, especially if they're a particularly low grade, right? So, okay, so I'm going to set the 2 things being equal, same classwork between C and D, student C and D, homework the same. The only thing different being their, hold on, let me do a better job here. I didn't do that on purpose. All right, so the third one, the difference being the quizzes and exams. The third person here is that quizzes and exams average of 85. The last one here is that of a 70. This person here would have a grade of average of 85. This person would have an average of 77, which is, so the impact is much larger than it used to be, 25% increase, as a matter of fact. Okay, so what I would like you to do is to take a look at this, reflect on what I show you, and then let me know what you think if you would like to share that with me. Okay, I'm really, really curious what you guys think. All right, now, so the question is, okay, now here's the thing. So let's say a person hypothetically did not take a test or let's say the child gets a 23 on the exam, right? What happens? I'm not going to automatically turn that into a 55 because that's not good teaching practice. And I will have to assume that you were not happy with that either. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to contact you. All right. Call an email. And then I'm going to set up a time for the student to come in the morning, go over the skills that they did not learn, take this old quiz, average it with the new quiz grade from the same topic, and divide it by 2. So the average on that should be a 61, so about 62. So that would be the new grade. I think 2 benefits here. If they learn what they're supposed to do, first of all, the grade's higher than the 55 than what was slated to put in there, right? And in addition, they learn what they missed. So I think that's a win-win there. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. Hopefully that won't happen too much, okay, because they should do better than 23 on a quiz. All right. Again, like I said, I would experiment with the 2 different homework formats if necessary. So let's deal with the one homework at a time, one homework a week thing for now. Let's see how everything goes. All right. To wrap up, no textbooks here. If you can, see if you can purchase a TI-34 calculator because on day 2 of the state test, they're allowed the use of it. We will provide them. with calculators if they don't have it, but the calculators are old and really beat up. So the last item that I think that I should bring up here are that I'm gonna send some workbooks home. I'm not gonna assign homeworks out of it. It's strictly for practice. Each student would receive 6 workbooks, relatively thin workbooks that covers the different units from the year. They can do that. All right. And that's it. Once again, my email is right here. I want to thank you for watching. Yep, that's it. And if there are any questions after watching this, I would be more than happy to answer this via phone call, email, or when I meet you guys during curriculum night, which should be Thursday. Hold on, let me double check. It's the 21st, right? Yep, it's the 21st of September. All right. And anything else, you can also set up a schedule to come meet me in the morning in person. That's perfectly fine too. And so I'm going to sign off here. I hope I didn't take too much time. There was a lot of new information that I want to get across, and I appreciate you taking the time watching this. And I hope that I get to meet all of you and speak to all of you soon. All right. Bye now.
OMG, that was so good.